26 of chapter 17. It is not good to punish an innocent man or to flog officials for their integrity. Well, there you go. Society and authority is given by God, and it is meant to reward those who do well, to punish those who do evil. We are told by Paul that if we don't want to fear society, do what's good, because kings will reward what is good. So here in Proverbs, Solomon, a king who's seen much rule, says that when does not happen, when the authorities instead punish those who do good, this causes evil. This causes death in society. It's going to cause a disruption of what's occurring. It's going to cause a collapse of society. And those are the cases where perhaps rebellion would be in order. Those are the cases where revolution might be something approved by or within God's plan. Now, I'm not suggesting rebellion at this point in the U.S., but I am saying, it is okay to occasionally replace a leader when they are attacking someone of integrity, when they are hurting someone who is doing good. Then yes, first we seek to have them change those modes of behavior, and if they don't, particularly in a democracy, we replace them. Let's move on. 27. A man of knowledge uses words with restraint, and a man of understanding is even tempered. So that first verse reminds me of Mark Twain saying, "It is better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and prove it." A man of knowledge uses words with restraint. You don't have to say words. As your mother taught you, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And when you do say words, I was once given advice. I was asking older married couples, long-time married couples, some advice, and they said, don't fight mean with your wife. Remember that you love her. So we can be restrained in the number of words we use, but we can also use restraint in the type of words we use. Particularly if you know someone really well, if they're a spouse or a sibling, it's very easy to stab right to the core. And instead, a wise man chooses words which are much gentler, or words which excise a wound precisely, rather than just kind of splattering all around. The second half of this says, and a man of understanding is even tempered. Don't blow up. Take a deep breath. Think before you speak. So a man who understands God's word and who understands people, a man who understands the way the world works, also doesn't allow his emotions, his negative emotions at least, to overwhelm him. Jesus was overwhelmed by compassion in many cases, but he didn't allow his anger to overwhelm him. He was even tempered. He responded in a considered and constrained manner. So we would like to do likewise. 28. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silence, and discerning if he holds his tongue. So even someone who's seeking after things which aren't of God, who's seeking after things which are of death, if you don't talk, you look wise. Silent Cal is a famous president who said very little. It might be good if our politicians said a lot less. Certainly as a pastor, there are times I must speak because I am given by God, like Jeremiah, a fire in me which makes my tongue speak. But those are things of the Lord. The things which are of the world, maybe I should keep my mouth shut. And then everyone will look at me and think, whoa, he's so smart. Not a bad thing to hold your tongue if you don't know what's going on or you're not speaking on a subject where God has guided you. Moving to chapter 18. An unfriendly man pursues selfish ends. He defies all sound judgment. All right. God put us in this world to love him and to love those around us. So an unfriendly man, one who is not seeking after the things of God, who's hurting his neighbor, well, as it says, he pursues his own ends. He doesn't pursue what's good for others. And if it hurts other people, oh well, you got to look out for yourself. You got to look out for number one. It's not what Jesus did. And that defies the judgment of God. God has said that we in our selfishness are sinners who cause destruction and death. And that is the sound judgment, that I am worthy of nothing but punishment. And so if I'm looking out for number one, who am I looking out for? I'm looking out for garbage. But if I'm looking out for the children of Christ, because Christ looked out for me, then now I'm in good judgment. Now I'm loving my neighbor the way I should have loved myself in the first place. Now I'm following in the path Christ told us to do, and suddenly now I'm friendly because I'm looking out for the interest of others and I'm loving them. And I'm showing good judgment because I'm doing the things God has taught, the things which lead to life. And that helps me too. That leads to my life. That makes me a man of judgment in my friendliness, in my love of my neighbor. 2, a fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing his own opinions. Yes, I want to be known as wise. My own opinions. Well, my own opinions aren't sourced from God's opinions, and God's opinions aren't really opinions, they're reality. And so someone who seeks death, he doesn't look to the understanding of God to find what is right and true. Yes, I am a male. Yes, I should get married if I burn. Yes, I should trust in the Lord in my days and in how I have kids and how I have a job and how I follow and work in society. I understand these things. Rather, I look to my own opinions of what should be done and what should be right. Well, obviously, I should look out for number one. Wives and kids get in the way. It might be a lot more fun not to have them around. It's a good thing if I go and do pleasurable things rather than coming to that boring church and listening to God all the time. Oh. And girls, well, they're nice for a time, but you cast them off. You set them aside. Kids, same way. Someone else can look after them. I don't need to be involved. I can run through these opinions. The fool, the one who leads to death, I like to hear what I say, because I'm so smart. Let's stop there. We'll do one more video.